The knitted remembrance poppy, which I have just made, and I made this pattern up because I tried to crochet one that looked like this, like the traditional Remembrance Day poppy, that sort of shape, 2 lobes, not like the ones that I found online where they were just a kind of circle that gathered in the middle and they didn't look like a traditional Remembrance Day poppy. But the crochet was a disaster because I can't crochet. I don't know why, but I'm really no good at it. So I came up with this and I just kind of invented it. And I thought it might be useful if anybody can't crochet or doesn't want to crochet and wants to knit a traditional style British Legion type poppy for a display, or probably if you're doing it for a display, a shed load of them, then maybe this will be useful for you. It's very, very easy. All you need to do is knit and purl. It's a doddle. And the middle, that's not even knitting. I'll show you. If you want to make this project, you'll need some red knitting yarn, double knitting weight, or anything similar to that. Some black knitting yarn about the same weight, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and 2 knitting needles. I'm using 3 1/4, but 4 would probably do, but it'd give you a somewhat bigger petal. But whatever size you need. This is going to be a very imprecise, I nearly said precise, but that's the opposite of what it's going to be. It's going to be a very imprecise kind of a thing. You do you. So let's get started. So I've got 2 knitting needles. As you can see, they don't even match. But they are both the same size. That's 3 1/4 mil. And then just some red cheap acrylic yarn. And the first thing we're going to do is cast on 20 stitches. I don't know how I came up with 20, I just did and it seemed to work. So we just cast on 20 stitches. I use the thumb method. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you keep going till you've got 20. Okay, so that's 20 stitches on the needle, and the first row is going to be just plain knitting. So that's easy enough. So don't use the tail. It's very frustrating when you discover you've used that tail. So we're just going to knit through the front of the loops 20 stitches. And then when we get to the end of this row, we're going to turn around and purl the 20 stitches. I won't bore you with watching me knit 20 stitches. So we're on the second row now, which is simply purl every stitch. I will put the pattern in the description underneath the video, so if you want the pattern, help yourself to it. There's no link to my Etsy shop or anything. The thing is free. Just screenshot it basically and you're away. Okay, so we just purl to the end of this row. Okay, in keeping with the general incredibly easy formula, all we're going to do now is on every knit row, we're going to knit the first 2 stitches and then knit all the other stitches together. So knit 2 together through the front, knit 2 together, keep going, knit 2 together, so it's going to get rapidly smaller. And we're going to keep doing this until we get to the last 2 stitches. And the last 2 stitches you knit each one. So this is the decrease row. So again, it's knit the first 2 stitches as normal, knit the one, knit the second, and then all the other pairs you knit together until you get to the end 2 stitches, and again you knit one and then the other, and then you turn your work, and every row on the back of the work is just straight purl, which is pretty simple, I think. And we're going to do that until we're just left with 6 stitches on the needle, which, believe me, it won't take long till we get there. Okay, so that purl row's finished, and again we're on the decrease row. So to remind you, you knit the first 2 stitches as normal, and then 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and then knit the last 2 as normal. And the next row will be a purl row. As you can see, it's sort of getting tighter and tighter and smaller towards the middle. Okay, so another decrease row. So we knit 2, we knit 2 together, we knit 2 together, and we knit 2. And that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, which is as small as it's going to get. Now turn the work to the back and knit 1 purl row, and then you can probably predict what's going to happen on the next row. So basically you've just made one of the petals, the smaller petal of the poppy. I mean, this is really quick. I don't know if it's quick as the crochet ones, but certainly is when I'm doing it. Right, so now we're going to start increasing. So same business, knit 2 stitches, and then this time knit into the front and back of the next stitch, knit into the front and back, and then the last 2 knit as normal, and the next row on all these will be a straight purl again. Okay, so we're back at an increase row. So knit the first 2 as normal, then knit into the front and the back of all the other stitches till you get to the last 2. And basically you're going to keep doing that until you've got 20 stitches on the needle. And then you're nearly at the end, but there's going to be a little variation on the last rows. So keep increasing and purling along the backs. Right, we've got 20 stitches on the needle, which is where we started, if you remember, when we cast on. This row is going to increase in a slightly different way. We're going to knit the first 2 stitches plain as normal, and then we're going to knit front and back in a stitch, and then knit 1 plain. Knit front and back, knit 1 plain. When you get to the middle, we're just going to knit front and back, knit front and back, knit front and back, knit front and back. Don't worry about counting them all if you get lost. You know, the middle roughly. You're going to do a few where it's knit front and back all the way through the middle. And then when we get past the middle, it'll be knit front and back, knit ordinary, knit front and back, knit ordinary, and so on till you get to the end and it's knit and knit. Then we purl and then we cast off. So let's go with it. So knit 2, knit front and back, and then just knit 1. Knit front and back, knit 1. Knit front and back. Right, we're kind of in the middle, so I'm just going to knit front and back for a bit. Knit front and back, knit front and back. I'm gloriously imprecise with crafting projects. Knit front and back, knit front and back. Right, I guess we've kind of passed the middle now, sort of, yeah, kind of. Right, so we'll do knit 1, knit front and back, knit 1, knit front and back, knit 1, knit front and back, knit 1, and then just knit 2 plain. There we are. I've no idea how many stitches are on the needle. Some, quite a few, doesn't matter. And then we simply purl the next row, and then we cast it off, leaving a long tail so that we can sew it up. When we do cast it off, it looks like nothing on earth. It does not look like the finished poppy, and that's because we've got to do a bit of very, very simple sewing up to get the shape right, and then it will come. And then I'll show you how to do the centre, which honestly it's very, very quick and easy, and you don't even need to be able to knit. So I'll see you after I've cast off. So I'm just casting off the final few stitches. So we're casting off on the right side, which forms a little sort of rim, which will help keep it a bit the right shape. And then when we've got to the end, we're going to cut a long tail, because we're going to sew with it. And also you might want to tie it onto, I don't know, a wreath or a gate or a display board, or not, or just make something like a little safety pin to put in the back or whatever. But give yourself a decently long tail and pull that through the loop. So this is what we've got now. So as you can see, it's a bit of a long way from what it should wind up looking like. So as you can see, I've sewn the sides up. So we're going to sew the sides up and then kind of suck them in a little bit, and it will make the right shape. So grab your tapestry needle. Make absolutely no difference which side you start on. So we're on the back now. So hold the two, pinch these two sides together, and roughly, I mean, this is just, you know, we do not need to be very, very precise about it. If you're one of those people who likes to be precise, well done you, and you be precise, but really, this is a kind of temporary thing, so nobody's going to examine the back, thankfully. Right, so we've sewn that seam, basically. Now, just run your needle up to the edge, and then run it back down the edge to the centre. And come on, gently pull until you get a kind of indented petal. You see there, that's probably indented enough, basically, I think. And then simply just sew that into the middle a couple of times so it doesn't come adrift. And you can leave that end to tie on to anything, or just sew it in and cut it off if you're just going to put a pin or something on the back. Right, same on the other side. So we make a little seam by just going from one side to the other. Till we get to the middle. And then running the needle through it on one side and back down to the other till you get in the centre, pull and join in the middle with the other one. Just adjust it so you're happy with how it looks. It will curl up a bit, but it's fine. If you wanted, you could press it, I guess, although be careful with acrylic yarn. Pressing acrylic yarn can go horribly wrong. Right, there we are. So that's it. So we're only missing the centre now. Right, we've finished knitting because the centre has 0 knitting in. You'll be delighted to know if you're not good at knitting. Although I'm sure you're better at it than I am at crochet. Right, let's find the end of this. Right, so there is no knitting involved here. Just wind it round the end of your finger I don't know how many times that was, that many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't need it to do it more than that. Cut off the end and thread your needle. And then, oop, lost a circle then. You're going to put it through the middle of that loop a few times. Don't pull it yet, just, well, pull it gently, that's all. So you're just going to keep making a sort of little donut like that. Then when you've kind of gone round about a circuit, you just pull it and it will do that. It just makes it like a little button. Tuck the end in. Kind of loosely sew across it a couple of times just to make it a bit firmer. That's it. Cut that little loose bit off from there. And then all you need to do is sew that into the middle of the poppy. Like so. Oh, sorry, that was an awful pun. I knitted loads of poppies last year and I don't know where I've put them, so I've got to do the things again. So this is much, much quicker than the one I used, which was the Royal British Legion one, which starts cast on 120 stitches. This starts cast on 20 stitches, so it must be quicker. However, just because you're knitting poppies doesn't mean you shouldn't support the Royal British Legion. Please do go out and buy a poppy from a poppy seller, or just put some money in their tin if you are going to wear your knitted poppy. Right, so there it is. Just sew it into the back a couple of times and cut it off. And that, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb, is how to make a traditional style knitted poppy in very, very little time. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you make some, and I hope you find somewhere to display them, like your local church or war memorial or around your town or village. And I have, as I said, put the pattern in the description so you can read the pattern and it'll remind you what to do, because you don't want to watch this again and do a knit along with Athena, I'm sure. Okay, thanks for watching.